Big changes happening in the zoning inside of Bella Vista. Today we're covering what are those changes. Does it affect the actual residential housing market inside of Bella Vista? What does it mean for the actual commercial side? Will there be more businesses? But most importantly, is it going to change the vibe, the feel, the overall aesthetic of Bella Vista, especially if you're planning on moving here? So let's talk about that. Hey everybody, if you don't know who I am, my name is Phillip Shepard. I'm a local real estate agent located right here in Northwest Arkansas. If you weren't aware, I actually was a real estate broker located in the dumpster fire, the horrible, the no good state of Illinois, the worst. Anyways, I kind of moved anywhere I wanted to in America. I kind of moved to Kentucky, to Tennessee, to Utah, to Montana, to Asheville, to anywhere I wanted to in America. But I chose Northwest Arkansas because it is by far the best place to live in America. Literally by far. So if you ever want to talk about why I chose Northwest Arkansas versus anywhere else in America, call me, text me, let's meet up for coffee and we can talk about, again, why I chose here versus anywhere else in America. Right, and the first thing we cover when it comes to Bella Vista radically changing their zoning laws, again, inside Bella Vista, is the change from R1, which is residential, moving over to something called low density housing. And the second thing that changes is actually adding a brand new zoning structure rule called basically multi-use MU. And both these rules, both low density and MU, are now in the books inside of Bella Vista. The reason for this, and we'll talk about in a few minutes, obviously, why this happened and what the future of Bella Vista looks like, but actually what this actually is intended to do, especially from the MU standpoint, that's the most important one, is the multi-use, is to put on the books and allow developers to actually start building those kind of multi-use housing. Now, this could be a gamut of different things, a large range of things, all the way from a kind of senior development housing, 55 and plus, more senior designed housing, which is already in the books being developed inside of Bella Vista, all the way to potentially some sort of apartment complexes, condos and townhouses. Now, what's really gonna happen, and we'll talk about this more in the future side of things in a little bit, but really this is intended to do is to cover and make it easy for developers to start building out that kind of multi-use, multi-style housing and commercial inside of Bella Vista. Now, a little bit of backstory here. This is kind of a blanket zoning thing across all of Northwest Arkansas. What's really behind this is actually the Northwest Arkansas Council. The council is this kind of like oversight or big group of nonprofits funded by local people in the area, you know who they are, who are trying to help design and get Northwest Arkansas all across the same page. A lot of times what makes Northwest Arkansas unique is the fact that you go to Austin, you go to the other places, they don't have kind of a guiding light principle. A lot of times it's just one city and there's all these adjacent cities that kind of feed off this one thing. Austin, for instance. Whereas in Northwest Arkansas, we're basically working at one pace, all have different cultures and kind of styles of cities, but we're all kind of marching at the same beat, trying to continuously be the best place to live in America. But what was on the books a lot of across Northwest Arkansas is just old zoning laws. Rogers redid their zoning laws, Fayetteville redid their zoning laws, Bentonville is in the practice of redoing their zoning laws. And an example of this is actually in Fayetteville. What happened was they actually redid a lot of the zoning. Fayetteville is a very complicated city, the university, they have a lot of medical, they have a lot of different things going on in Fayetteville, so it's kind of, that's a very unique animal. But they redid a lot of their zoning because they needed a lot of the, like, let's say those parking lots that are just not used as much anymore. They wanted to be able to rezone them potentially as a multi-use MU style thing, meaning you could put commercial there. Inside the commercial, you're gonna have some apartments above there, some condos, and just a kind of a mixture of stuff. And again, you start seeing this across the board, across Northwest Arkansas, because again, not everyone moving here wants that single family home. And when developers say, hey, I wanna build, a row of some, chiropractor and an eye clinic and then a coffee shop and then a Pilates studio, we want to build up farther because it's just cheaper and it's a good use of land. So there was no laws in the books inside of Fayetteville, so they changed a lot of those rules. Now, eventually the last two are really gonna be both Bentonville as well as Bella Vista. Bella Vista's already done this, hence the MU category. The idea for this whole MU side is that really the trunk of Bella Vista will eventually become its own downtown section. I've talked about this endlessly inside of these videos. Has there anything been proposed yet on paper? No. but it is coming. All these rules coming into place, all these things are eventually going to lead to, hey, we want to change some of the trunk of Bella Vista to be obviously a lot more biking, a lot of golf courses, but also allowing people to stop along the trails to grab coffee, grab a beer, grab some food, and people live on the actual trails themselves. That's really the intent of this, and the reason that they did this is because there's been a lot of developers who want to do this in the past, but going to Bella Vista with these brand new things, there's no rules in place to say, yes, this does work, this doesn't work, and there's no rules to kind of work with. And so a lot of it was shot down, a lot of it was just kind of back behind the scenes, like, well, we can do this if you give it, it's like, it just doesn't work out well. So that's why these rules are now in place to really help design this trunk of Bella Vista. Now, asterisks, part of this is also the fact that, again, what falls into this category is more multi-unit housing. Now, we'll talk about this a little bit farther in the video about what the future might look like, but that is also part of the package as well. Again, I don't think that's going to be heavily used as often because Bella Vista is not that vibe. But when it comes to the trunk of Bella Vista, I could certainly see that happening because, again, people who are moving here, working for Walmart, working for a vendor, for Tyson, for whoever, a lot of times they're maybe younger, they might have a spouse or a significant other. They don't always want to purchase a true single family home. And if you kind of look across the board across Northwest Arkansas, all it is single family homes, which is awesome. I love that. But I also do understand that a lot of people moving here don't necessarily want that. They do want to own, or they want to be in a more, let's say, city style lifestyle, meaning they want to be able to go walk to the coffee shop, get on the bike, ride their bike to work. And that's where this new MU category falls into place for Bella Vista. Whoa. I made something for you. I made something called 3-day itineraries. So maybe you're looking to check this place out, looking to see if it's the best place to live in America. I made 3-day itineraries literally for you. Maybe you're an adventurer, maybe you're a sports person, maybe you're a foodie, maybe you're a sightseer, maybe you have kids, whatever it is, I have 3-day itineraries linked below. So go ahead and download them and use them when you get down here. Also, you might be using things like Realtor.com, Zillow, or Redfin. Way too slow. Notifications, way too slow. That's why I made something called Instant Home Updates. It sounds exactly what it is. Literally, it's Instant Home Updates. So enter your information below: name, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage. Where do you want to move to in Northwest Arkansas? Enter all the information below. I'll make sure to miss a single notification when it comes for home for sale or for rent, all in Northwest Arkansas. And the second thing we need to talk about when it comes to these brand new radical rules happening inside of Bella Vista when it comes to zoning. I mentioned this before, but I want to kind of reiterate why we got to where we are inside of Bella Vista. And why did this happen? Again, leading to the fact that a lot of people, not a lot, but there's a growing number of people moving to Northwest Arkansas who don't really want that full-on lifestyle of, like, single family home, large yards, the whole thing. What really was a catalyst for a lot of this was, as Bella Vista's matured in the last, I'm gonna say 5 years, what's happened is that developers and builders have been building bigger and bigger and bigger homes inside of Bella Vista. That's great, that's awesome. I love that because I help a lot of people move here. The homes are fantastic, they're very high quality, they're very unique, everything has their own character, so I love that. You have your own touch, like your own little paradise, sometimes an acre, half an acre lot. It's beautiful, I love it. The problem that you run into is that what developers have realized and builders have realized is that there's a huge market for those homes, and there are a lot of homes being built like that. And there's less homes that are built in the 300, 325 range, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and so you kind of are seeing that kind of struggle come into place. So what happened, a lot of this is, as those homes have been being developed, Bella Vista, the Northwest Arkansas Council, and others started realizing we are going to kind of have a housing issue inside of Bella Vista if we don't kind of shore up some of these rules. Now, a lot of this has to do with the Waltons purchasing the actual architectural committee. A lot of this has the Waltons purchasing a bunch of land to obviously build out a bike center in the far future. A lot of this has to do with this, kind of the rules being softened for building in general. And having this MU category and having this new low density housing makes it easier and simpler and more streamlined for builders to build more affordable housing inside of Bella Vista. What I say all that to say is to say more affordable for developers in, let's say, a very free market system where it's like, oh, it makes sense now for us to build a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot house in Bella Vista because the rules are simpler. We can hold on to the loan for a less amount of time. And so you start seeing those things happen more and more. And it's already shown its fruits recently, because just looking at the actual permits that are coming through Bella Vista, they're becoming more common to build those kind of, we'll say, standard size homes inside of Bella Vista. So you're already starting to see the fruit of these come through, and with these new rules in place, because it's just more streamlined across the board. So again, the reason being is because seeing the far future, Bella Vista could become kind of a, we'll say, a McMansion, so to speak, household. I wouldn't like that, because you obviously have larger homes, larger lots, and it could become kind of, unaffordable to a lot of people. Bella Vista has always been intended to be a very affordable place, to have that little slice of, let's say, Colorado, a little slice of Portland, Oregon, meaning, and the actual, the beauty of it, of course. So again, Bella Vista is always intended to be that. So to kind of shore up those things not to happen, they put these laws and rules in place. Now, it does come with, again, some caveats and some ability for developers to say, hey, I want to build these condos, townhouses, apartments. It does allow for those conversations to happen. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're always going to get approved. And the third and final thing when it comes to these brand new rules of zoning inside of Bella Vista, and this is kind of the million-dollar question, which I've kind of hinted along the way when it comes to what Bella Vista is going to look like in the future with these new rules. Again, I want to kind of reiterate, the Waltons owning the architectural committee with all these new zoning laws, with the build out of the sewer system. It will never be fully out there across all of Bella Vista, but it is being built out. With all these amenities coming to the area, the intent for Bella Vista has been and always will be to kind of be a mecca for outdoor paradise between the rivers and the lakes and the golf courses and all the recreation centers and obviously the trail systems and the cool places to hang out. Bella Vista's always had a lot of those things, but now it's becoming more streamlined and easier for people to access, which is great because Northwest Arkansas has that across all of Northwest Arkansas, but Bella Vista really does have a concentrate for those really cool things. So again, what the future of Bella Vista will look like, especially when it comes to that main trunk, that downtown section of Bella Vista, is going to be a huge win for Bella Vista. Again, if you live in Bella Vista now, you're asking me, what's the best restaurants to go there? And you're like, well, there's a couple, and they're good, sort of. And I always recommend, if you want really good food, go down to Bentonville. There's a couple good restaurants inside of Bella Vista. If you own one of them, that's probably you. But regardless, one of those things that is going to be a big win for Bella Vista is just having that kind of true city, not city like sprawling city, but true city feel, where it's like, hey, let's go down to the coffee shop, let's hit the trails, let's do this, let's go. A lot of those amenities that people are looking for inside of any basic kind of city, they really don't exist inside of Bella Vista now. With these new rules are going to be a big win for the area. So again, it can be scary, I completely understand, about Bella Vista changing, and it will change. It's just unavoidable. But the hope and goal for Bella Vista is to continue to kind of, we'll say, incubate that really true passion what Bella Vista offers. Like I said before, all those cool amenities, and with addition, add those really cool things that people have been asking for a long time inside of Bella Vista. So the future of Bella Vista looks really bright with all these new changes coming down the pipeline, all these new zoning things, with all these the bike lifts going in there, with all the new trails coming into place. There's a lot of exciting things in Bella Vista, and this is just kind of a kind of shoring up of rules way to allow developers and outside developers to come in and see the beauty of Bella Vista and be like, you know what? I can invest here. I want to put another bike ramp over here. I want to do this over here. I want to build a huge restaurant over here. I want to put coffee shops over here. I want to put my yoga Pilates stuff over here, and I want to put a brewery in the middle of a cave. Those things are very. That rule doesn't actually exist in the MU, but when you start putting these rules in place, it allows for more conversations to happen. And when those things are put in place, it's like developers can think, dream, and build, and we can enjoy all the benefits of living right here in Northwest Arkansas. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Again, if you have not been down to Northwest Arkansas quite yet, I made something called the NWA Starter Pack. Sounds exactly what it is. Literally a starter pack full of all the cool things in Northwest Arkansas. It comes with a 120-page guide, literally city by city, thing by thing, everything about Northwest Arkansas in one big packet. It comes with the 3-day itineraries, it comes with postcards, it comes with all sorts of cool things. Also, side note, you do need this because it comes with the official NWA coloring book. I mean, come on, don't you want that? I want that right now. Anyways, yes, do it for the coloring book. Starter pack comes right to your home. Literally package shipped right to your home. Enter your name below, enter your address below. Where's this package going to? Where am I shipping this NWA starter package going to? Enter all the information below and make sure to get the package shipped to you right away. Also, side note, it does come with your first free mountain bike, so that's pretty cool. And I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. It is my favorite for F word. Free. So enter your information below and make sure to get the package shipped to you right away. All right, guys. I'll see you next one.